honestly don't know.
You know, the picture actually looks pretty good.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing it though, because I thought you made it. You're using a cheap camera, or like really.
Yeah.
Good job. How are you filming this?
I honestly don't know. I don't.
My parents' names were Frank and Sandy Shiveley, and I was an accident. But they decided to keep me, and I was born in Dayton, Ohio, home of the Wright brothers, the day the White Album was released. Much as I love the White Album, I think you're crazy if you put any musician up there with the Wright brothers, not that you asked. My name's Eric, and today I'm leaving my Denver home. I'm going to build a tiny house and recording studio in the middle of nowhere. It's where I'll probably die. My brother, sister, and I were lucky growing up and had everything we needed. But except for baseball, I wasn't good at anything, and I never fit in anywhere. Besides Christmas, the only childhood memories I recall fondly are making the Little League All-Star team and hearing my brother play things like Blackbird, The Wall, and Back in Black on his record player. After college, I moved to Denver to see the mountains. And despite being the world's worst technical writer, my paycheck somehow got bigger with each new company, and I bought a great house. Being normal seemed to work for everyone else. But I hated every second of the workday. And the older I got, it just seemed to get worse. I still just wanted to be Joe Morgan or Chris Isaak. Around the time I turned 30, I had a dream I was in the band Insane Clown Posse. We were walking on stage to a packed and screaming theater. I've never seen or heard Insane Clown Posse, but the dream was so vivid, and I knew nothing could be better than that feeling. Suddenly it seemed crystal clear that I'd done everything I was supposed to, but nothing I really wanted to. Well, I'm 36 years, 9 months, and 7 days old, and today that changes.
Hi, my name is Eric Shiveley. I just moved here from Denver. I sold my house and got 40 acres down here in southern Colorado. I'm an independent musician and a recording engineer and producer kind of self-taught. What I did was buy land here so I could build a small house and a studio where I can record music and make movies, which I've always wanted to do. Right now all I have is my tent and sleeping bag, so I got to find a trailer, design the house, and go from there. What do you think? I love it. It's paid for.
Okay, I'm not really in the middle of nowhere. My land's just outside Alamosa, Colorado. There's the highway, there's the water tower in town, and that's Great Sand Dunes National Park. Being close to a nice town was part of the plan. That's rule number one, always have a plan. For the last few years, mine's been to make 4 albums before I kill myself to get my music noticed. Just before I sold my house last week, I finished my 4th album. So the next parts of the plan are, 1, build a place that's within my budget, and 2, put together an album of my best songs that I can throw everywhere. I decided to call that album Point of Failure. If you're still watching, you might be wondering what I sound like, or more likely, how big am I? Have I toured or am I known nationally? Well, the Denver Post just did an article about me moving away. Let's see if I'm famous.
Would you go out with that guy?
No.
Why not?
Well, it says he's a struggling musician.
Oh, what if he had a regular job? Would you then?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You can kind of see it looks like a hairpiece. Is that a hairpiece?
That's not. Well, it's not.
Okay, I guess not, but I appreciate the thought. Anywho.
Well, I found a trailer. This is it. It's about 15 years old. It's 35 feet long. There's a big bedroom, kitchen, full bathroom, and there's a room in back that's kind of messy. There's a great view of Mount Blanca and Sand Dunes National Park. I have a phone that's working now.
I'm starting to realize I really am doing this. I even have neighbors a quarter-mile away. Meet Don and Lillian.
Do we have tornadoes down here?
I have never seen one in 53 years.
This is probably my last house, and I've always wanted to see a tornado. But I'm glad I have nice neighbors close. So how do you get by in a trailer? There's a propane range, so cooking is pretty much the same. To shower, you just heat some water on the stove and then scrub yourself in the full-size tub. For a week or so, I went to town to use the bathroom. Then one day I had an emergency and instinct took over. You just line the toilet with a trash bag, grab a copy of Highlights, and push out that giant horned baby. When you're done, you bring your bag of shit out back and drop it in your my fault. First you gotta dig a giant hole. Then you empty the bag into the hole. Dude, wait. Why? God, you're a dumbass.
Well, I mean, I have a boyfriend already, so.
Oh, okay.
Really.
What if he were hurt in a farm accident?
We don't live on a farm.
You don't live on. What like a blimp accident?
I've never even seen a blimp.
This is empty, and I'm going to go to town to fill it up. It's probably not what you think.
I moved here September 1st, and it's now already late October. I've been designing my house, getting bids from contractors, and spending a lot of time with the code people here in the county building.
Hi, Pat.
Terrible day for the hair.
Ken, who's the county building inspector, liked my plot plan so much he put it in his office window. It's still a few weeks before the concrete guys can start on my foundation. But I just got some recording work back in Denver.
Hi, Eric.
My old friend Nora just hired me to mix a bunch of songs she recorded at home.
Well, if I put it in the center, there's
Oh
like
no,
this
we're not going to
phasing
go
thing.
through this, Eric. Yes, I hear it.
Do you have any goals?
My goal is to have one of my songs sung by another artist in a movie.
You were once a Laker girl.
Was I? Was I? Can't can't remember.
Did you ever sleep with Magic Johnson?
At the end of the third day, Nora's 13-song album's done, and we're both happy with it. I have a live recording gig tonight, then I drive home tomorrow. That's Robert. About a year ago, I recorded his first album. Tonight I'm recording him at a club near Boulder. For about 33 hours work, I made $325. To a musician, that's a lot of money. But it's a 3.5-hour drive to Denver, so I really made about $250.
Are we rolling?
Last night I couldn't sleep. Kevin, the concrete guy, called yesterday. He's ahead of schedule and he'll be here soon to break ground. So I'm watching the road for a white pickup. I can't remember the last time I felt like this. It's like it's Christmas morning and I'm 6 years old again. This is how I thought I'd feel the day I closed on my house and got the check, or the day I moved here. And I keep hearing what everyone told me. You can't afford good land. You can't build for so little. You can't do it yourself. You don't know what you're doing. It's complicated. Don't be so naive. If it were that easy, we'd all be doing it. I did all the homework and everything seemed possible. But if enough people say you can't, I guess it just sinks in. It just seems crazy we don't get this feeling much when we're older. No joke, I recorded over the groundbreaking getting video of friends' dogs. I got some still pictures, but they're all pretty boring and I know what you'd rather see. So here's 30 seconds of dogs.
Is this styrofoam going to stand up to a tornado?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's wonderful watching this thing get started, but it feels weird seeing people do work because of me. It's like I don't deserve it. While they're pouring today, I have to bike to town. It's a great ride. 7.5 miles down a dirt road to the Rio Grande, then a few blocks to the coffee shop. I love the coffee shop. When I'm dunking my cookie and reading the paper, I always remember what it was like to work in software. This is a lot better. I also have to ride by the post office, then to Walmart to look for a door lock for the trailer.
This is what it looks like on the way back.
I still can't believe the sky here, even in November. So many afternoons you look up and it's just like being in a movie. I think you have to be here.
Let's have a look. This looks like Milkman Dan, the morning DJ and music director for Radio 1190 AM. They can play whatever they want. I mean, what a beautiful concept. Let's have a listen. So much of college radio seems to be these 20-year-old popular kids who get to run radio stations. I've done 4 albums that have all gotten a lot of local acclaim, and as far as I can tell, Milkman Dan has never given me a single spin. And he plays the Donnas. I'm almost 40 years old, and the popular kids and their Radio China.
Am I just bitter at that college radio dude for not playing my music? Well, hell yes. Tonight I'm doing a mixdown of a live recording I did several months ago. It's of a band called Halden Wofford and the High Beams, one of my favorites. This work is as tedious as doing your taxes. But when you and the band are happy with the finished mix, it's awesome.
I'm on my way to Vail, Colorado to record a band in a parking garage for the next 2 nights.
We can't set up in the parking garage until around midnight, so I have time to kill. And not much is open. For several reasons, I haven't talked with my family for a while, and this is the first time it's really bothered me. I really don't feel like setting up all the gear for this recording gig tonight. After recording, Mike the singer lets me set up in his office to mix down and dump everything onto his computer. The hardest part is ignoring the pictures everywhere of his knockout of a wife, especially the one just beneath the monitor. Anywho. This is what it usually looks like when you're recording.
What do you think y'all will be doing in 5 years?
Throwing TVs out hotel windows?
That was a stupid question, wasn't it? That was totally...
That was dumb.
That was 8 days, 45 hours of work that felt like 70, and after gas about $700. It's gotten so cold the heater was cranked last night. Every morning I see the sunrise out my east window, and out the west window the San Juan Mountains. But this morning, for the first time, I see the beginnings of my tiny dream house. Right now I'm all happy, but in a few hours I'm going to get a phone call. For the first time, a recording client's going to be unhappy with an entire recording I've given them, and they're going to seem pretty close to thinking I've done a half-assed job. So how bad was this recording? You were just listening to it. Then tomorrow this guy's going to show up. He's an acquaintance from Boulder I hired to help me with all the carpentry and masonry. But as soon as he gets here, he'll be pulled over by Alamos's finest for having an expired license plate. And I'll hear the officer ask him why he's driving when he has 4 restraints against his license. Then he'll leave and I'll never hear from him again. The only problem is I fronted him over $700 to supposedly have work done on his truck. I have to finish the second floor before the concrete guys can build the walls all the way up. After that, the rest of the house is up to me, and it looks like I'll be on my own. So what's the deal with this place? It's being built out of what they call ICFs, or insulating concrete forms. That means they stack up these hollow styrofoam blocks and then fill the middle with cement 7 inches thick. There are far cheaper ways to build, but this will be maintenance free for the rest of my life, and it's about the best insulation you can get. I think this is totally cool.
She wouldn't sell, with union spaces filled, spilled from burning
found that no matter how highly recommended a contractor, you don't know how your job's going to go. Fortunately, these guys turned out to be just as good as I'd heard. And since I made a little money in the past month, I can go back to Denver for the holidays.
Please explain the symbolism here. My brain is not that large.
Yeah, y'all, where's the payoff for that shit? Damn! Mr. Cameraman, you seen my cigarettes? Oh, wait, I see that shit. I spent Christmas with my friend Macy.
Camera.
Macy and her 3 chihuahuas. That's Dwayne, there's Murray, and that's Lupe. I want to thank Lupe for ruining my alone time. This is Macy's store downtown. She sells dog clothing, vintage bric-a-brac, and her own art. I love this one. For $100 you can have Great Aunt Sue, jacket and handbag included.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't.
Unfortunately, it's been a warm and slow holiday. It's New Year's already, and I want to see the band Devotchka. They're playing at the Oriental Theater, which is just a few blocks from my old Denver home.
What do you want for Devotchka?
What do I want?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's already surpassed my wildest dreams. You know, and it's hard to explain to normal citizens that you actually are doing something worthwhile if they don't see you on TV or in magazines.
Do you think it's as simple as be really good and people will find you?
That's a good start. It is. That is really good advice.
Just a few blocks from the Oriental is the singer for another band with a New Year's gig. I'm dropping off that recording I finished for Halden Wofford and the High Beams.
Get out of here, you hippie! What are you doing?
So you're playing tonight?
Yes,
Where?
Skylark Lounge.
What's the Skylark?
Bar.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of question is that? Who are you? Why are you in my house?
How long have you been with the High Beams?
Forever. 5 years. 5 years. Can you believe that?
Is it fun?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about tonight?
The way I always do before a show.
Which is?
Bitter. Depressed.
Are you happier than when you were younger?
Yeah. I guess. Are you?
Yeah. I found the right medication.
Is it called Jack Daniels? I found it too! It's right over here! Interview's over! Okay. Why are you doing this again? Why are you in my house? What the hell are you doing in my house? Are you gonna come down tonight again or not?
Yes.
Yeah? That's good because there won't be anybody else there.
Hey,
Brad! Get the hell out of here! Yeah, that's the problem. What do you think?
I think we should do that.
Okay.
I think it needs to
Everybody
have
does.
that.
What would Jimmy Reed do?
Let's do that.
Are you filming the empty wall? Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Helen Wofford. These are High Beams, and we like to do some of our own music right now. This is a song called Bye Bye Baby.
don't drink or do any drugs, but although I was holding the camera, I honestly don't remember filming this. I do remember guarding my gear and feeling completely alone. At first I was worried about my friend bailing and having to build this house myself. But pretty soon I was glad. And I looked forward to doing it without any help. I don't know what I'm doing. So I ask a lot of questions when I go to the lumber store. Then, like anything else, you learn it as you go. I think most of the stuff out there, if you have to, you can figure out how to do it yourself. Then one evening in January, something happened. I was working on the roof and it was a lot warmer than usual. The sky turned this amazing painted color I knew the camera couldn't capture. But as I was working, for the first time since I could remember, I felt all right. It was as if everything could turn out okay. And I thought, maybe I actually know what I'm doing here, and it is everyone else who's a little crazy. I remember it crossing my mind it'd be nice to have someone to share this with. But if I feel all right, I'm not going to press my luck.
These look like a couple music critics. They're really the journalistic equivalent of the dude in the souped up neon who peels out at every intersection. This guy, he does that and this and that turns. So he basically does nothing useful. This guy, he doesn't have a sword, but I guess he can do that all day long. But don't feel too sorry for these guys. We have a nice warm home for them coming up.
Working on the roof depends a lot on the weather. The wind can be ferocious. Yesterday when I was lifting one of these pieces, the wind tossed it straight above me like a kite, like it was nothing. The weather and the fact that I'm slow, and it takes me over a month to finish the roof.
Today we're on our way to Texas. Someone I know is launching a radio station.
That's Tom, that's his wife Catherine, and that's today's New York Times, open to an article about Marfa Public Radio, the NPR station Tom's responsible for launching tomorrow.
Yeah, the New York Times. Nice work.
It's one thing to launch a radio station out here. It's another thing to just set up an office out here. And it's a third thing to have one of the biggest concerts in this area for 20 years. But we're doing it all on the same day.
Dan Rather's in town for the ceremonial switch throwing when the station goes live tomorrow. Then the next night's a huge benefit kickoff concert. I'm put to work trying to figure out the station's new programming software.
We're about 25 hours to launch.
It's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Catherine makes us a great breakfast, then I decide to spend time with the chickens. It's my goal to spend a few minutes with them every morning until they eventually accept me as one of their own.
Hi. Hi. So what happens today?
Well, we launched the station.
Yeah?
Yeah.
While the party's going on, I have to stay close to the phone. There's something wrong with the transmitter, and Tom has to drive 30 miles to work on it manually. Waiting for Tom to call, I miss filming the speeches and the ceremonial switch throwing. There's even a fancy after party, and a few of the volunteers, including myself, aren't on the list.
It's Shiveley. Is Shiveley on? It might be under Cimarron, Van Patten. My dad's maiden name is. Sometimes my friends used to call me Bubba Smith.
Tom misses all of it. I believe my patience with these misunderstood pseudo-avians is beginning to pay off. And not just because I bring them food.
From where to where it needs to be.
This is Tom. Oh, hey, Mark.
We're supposed to have a signal any minute. The station doesn't even have a radio yet, so Tom's out listening in his car.
They don't have a radio? Alright, I can buy a lot of stuff in this film. But you have the New York Times and Dan Rather. And they have no radio?
No, I know there's a lot of stuff going on, actually. I actually have an interview with Tom that answers a lot of that stuff.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
You're the manager of a station that has a 100,000 watt signal, but so far you've been having to do everything. I mean, yesterday I saw you cleaning the toilet. Is that what you expected or not?
Yeah, I didn't expect any of that. But that's West Texas. You can't say I don't do that out here because there's no one else to turn to.
What do you think about the music so far? It's really dragging right now, isn't it? Don't you think?
Why don't you do the bunny?
Cheese. Cheese. What is that?
It's the buddy. Put your stick down, Joe.
Here we go. Holy shit. You were the one I showed the newspaper to, right?
Yep.
And you were the one with the boyfriend, right?
Yep.
You still have the...
Yep.
Hello, this is Dan Rather, and this is Marfa Public Radio, KRTS 93.5 FM.
Is it? Yeah!
My baby's teaching me the sky that she wants me.
If you're wondering where the big mixer and all the fancy gear is, it's tied up with grant money and hasn't even arrived. And tonight's that Marfa Public Radio kickoff concert. I'm only allowed to take pictures, but it's this guy. Is that cool or what? What you're about to see is real and has never been explained. It's not a camera trick. A few miles east of Marfa is a viewing area for what are known as the Marfa Lights, tiny flickering lights that sometimes appear near the horizon, supposedly. The San Luis Valley where I live has a bit of a reputation for UFO sightings. I think it's fun, but I'm sorry. I don't know how anyone can take it seriously. Frankly, all that stuff annoys me. You're not psychic, nothing crashed at Roswell, and there's no ghost of a little girl walking the stairs of your farmhouse. But what I wouldn't give to see something like that. I don't believe for a second that anything supernatural or bizarre causes these lights, but the fact that they exist and haven't been explained, I think, is wonderful. I never knew stuff like this was out there. It's my last day here, and I'm sure the chickens are glad. I only wanted to pet them. I've concluded that if you believe these fragile creatures deserve to be beheaded, chopped up, and grilled, you're right, because chickens are stupid. And I'm sure it's no accident that just as I'm leaving, Tom and Catherine's friend Tim arrives. Tim's a music critic. He's also a DJ.
Do you believe a song is just good or not good? Is there such a thing as a song being relevant?
Madonna, Borderline is just a great song. Or like Staying Alive. Kylie Minogue, Can't Get You Out of My Head, I think is a great song.
So why do writers often, if they admit they like something like that, they have to qualify the hell out
Yeah, I don't
of
know,
it?
that's really weird. Because
Right.
we as writers want to seem hip. You can't be cool and like Kylie Minogue, I have to wear my hipster glasses and like Dinosaur Jr.
You think writers in general see themselves as more important than the bands themselves?
I sure wish that wasn't the case, but I think you're probably right. I mean, I want to believe that I don't. I mean, I truly think I don't think I'm the most important.
Tim's a good guy. He DJs during the day, and that night, Marfa Public Radio has its first specialty show. DJ Chris Columbus and his wife Miss Sybil host their gospel roots show, Boogie Chillin'. Part of me wishes I could stay. I think the station's a great thing, and Catherine and Tom are wonderful. Catherine's a published artist, by the way, and can work from home. And I envy they seem to have found where they belong and where they're needed. Tomorrow it's March, and I'm way behind where I expected to be. On the way home from Texas, I stopped in Albuquerque to get one thing. This is Monty.
Hi, baby.
He's my first doggy, and I waited forever to get him. There's the metal siding I bought for the house, and there's where the wind slammed a piece of it endlong into the trailer. Before I left for Texas, I stacked 3 concrete blocks on top of it. But while I was gone, a windstorm tossed all 88 pieces of it like construction paper. New neighbors I've never met who moved in while I was away picked up every piece and restacked it. Meet the Simmermans.
Hi, Catherine.
Between Texas and Monty, I've put off practicing for a gig. Yes, I have a gig. And I swore I'd never play again until I got really good.
All right, now we're going to hear from Kathy Fuller.
Every March, Alamosa has a one-day arts showcase. Local painters and writers fill every gallery and eatery in town, and I get to play in my favorite place, the coffee shop. I went early to check out the crowd. The performers were great, and the crowd were very warm. And then the roof caved in. We're going to recreate it, but we don't have much of a budget for props. I was told there will be nachos. Man, y'all better hurry up. Dwayne got a hot date tonight. First up were the middle-aged hippies. Surely you've seen them.
Hi, my name is David Land, and this is my wife Fern. I don't know how many of you know this, but when you've seen aspen growth, under the surface they're all actually joined together. They are, they're together.
Pass the brownies. Yeah, my cools too.
Yellow man in China, and when the raven flies, we must realize we all come from the same vagina. One big vagina.
What the hell was that? The hippies crack me up.
Chihuahuas are a tough crowd, but the real audience liked them a lot, so I figured I had it made. Next up, inevitably at a poetry reading, was Ponytail Guy.
Oh,
This is the real space between what you think is the reality of my soul's boundary, forever twisting the shadows of your deceit, venom of your own soul. The crowd gave him this slow, lukewarm response. I felt bad for him. Finally, it was my turn, and I figured all things considered, I'd be fine.
Longest time. Catch my lazy eye.
Okay, I hadn't played for a year or practiced as much as I'd planned, but I thought I did fine, and everyone else got some applause, right? You ready for this? You think you're good? I don't think I've ever seen someone play in a coffee shop and get no applause at all. Far worse things can happen, but nothing feels lower than packing up your gear in front of a crowd of people that has just completely ignored you. Because suddenly you're the last thing you ever wanted to be. Suddenly you're the person you used to make fun of. And you're a joke. I think it was 2 weeks before I could force myself to go back into that coffee shop. But what are you gonna do? I've been here 6 months and haven't made any friends. And I'm worried about Monty.
Monty had a rough day yesterday.
He's only 7 weeks old. He's a teacup chihuahua and that's why he's so small. But he has dizzy spells where something's not right. Yesterday he choked on his food and stopped breathing. I honest to God gave him mouth to mouth, felt the food dislodge, and he came around. If he can make it to 8 weeks, I believe he'll have it made. And every morning I tell him how close he is. I'm starting to worry about my money, and I'm sure the people at the coffee shop think I'm a weirdo, but it's like an oasis and I need it. And the last amateur filmmaker I know isn't interested in helping me, so if this movie's going to get made, I'll have to do it myself. And I don't know anything about video editing. To teach myself, I made a video of my song that's playing right now. I wanted people holding whiteboards that show how much time they have left to live. So how do you pay back a neighbor that picked up all your windblown metal siding? Easy. Put him in your video and give him 2 months to live. The video turned out pretty lame. The scary thing is just how good I thought it was when I first finished it. And let me be clear, I know the chances of this movie ever getting anywhere are incredibly small. Sometimes I think everyone believes they can write the great American novel. You should sit down and try it for real. I bet it's fun for about 5 minutes. I'm making cookies for my neighbors. That's actually rule number 4. It's a good rule. That's my neighbor Audrey. She and her kids are always making cookies and great sweets for me. And that's my house so far.
Audrey, what do you think of my house so far?
So far, looks kind of ghetto.
I'm sorry, did you say my house looks kind of ghetto?
Kind of ghetto.
I could make excuses about where the windstorm bent the metal siding, but all that matters is Audrey's right. My house looks awful. Last week my singing emptied out a coffee shop, and my house looks like a big piece of crap. Which brings us to our next rule. The most important one besides making cookies for your neighbors. Figure out why you suck and fix it. I have an idea that I think will make the metal siding look better, but for music stuff I need someone to report to. So I called my old friend Jerry. Jerry's a great guy. He has a wife and kids and went to the Coast Guard Academy. So he knows about responsibility and deadlines, and boats. Jerry lives in Cleveland, but agreed to let me call him once a week and help me figure out where I need to get better.
Hey Jerry, so this is your place in Cleveland, right?
This is it.
If you don't get good feedback, you never will get better. Trust me on that.
Y'all, Dwayne wouldn't take that shit from nobody. Find that boy my shotgun. Oh, hell yeah! F that shit up good, y'all. God.
On March 9th, Monty turned 8 weeks old. He also woke up weak and with diarrhea. The vet gave him medicine and said he just needed to eat more frequently. That night we went to bed around 10:30. At 1:30 I woke up to his crying. All his food and water had gone right through him and something was very wrong. The on-call vet agreed to meet me, but the icy air between the trailer and the car took almost everything Monty had left, even though he was totally bundled. I took him back inside and told the vet thanks anyway. I held Monty in his blanket and gave him drops of Pedialyte, and for a little bit I still thought maybe he'd just fall asleep and then start to get better. But at about 2:15, his right eye closed, he couldn't hold up his head, and it was obvious he only had a few minutes. When that happened, it felt like my insides tore in half, and I just started to say, please don't go. Soon his breathing slowed to almost nothing, then he opened his eyes and mouth wide as if to gasp for air, and then he was gone. And just like that, the universe that had opened up and given me this perfect little guy, and let me have him just long enough to fall completely under his spell, had taken him away. With a headlamp and flashlight, I buried Monty in the middle of the night. Then I came back inside, took a shower, and started to cry. And I couldn't stop for almost 3 days. To try to stop feeling sick, I wrote Monty a goodbye note that I buried next to him along with what was left of his food.
Monty, after you died, I kissed you one more time. Then I wrapped you snugly in your blanket. I buried you quickly, since you're still scared of the cold and wind. I loved how you always wanted to climb up my chest and sleep against my neck. And I'm sick that I can't hold you against my cheek, that you'll never bite my nose and ears again. And that I can't make absolutely certain that you're nice and warm. Thank you for everything. I miss you, baby.
If you want to make a living off your paintings, poems, songs, or whatever, there are a few things you learn real fast. Cook all your own meals, take good care of your car, and forget any notion you might have about what's fair. because it doesn't matter and it doesn't have anything to do with how the world works. Right as Monty was dying, if someone had appeared and said they could give him 10 healthy years in exchange for everything I own, I might have done it. But after a few days, when the sick feelings started to fade, I wouldn't have. Sometimes I think if you're trying to get the world to notice your music or paintings, you're always desperate like that, to the point you don't know what's best or real. By the way, I looked up the Marfa mystery lights. They're just car headlights on Highway 67. No magic. For 6 months I'd lived in this trailer alone and loved it. Now it felt completely empty and I hated coming home. It was weird that almost no one here had met Monty. Just Pat from the land use office and this one blonde girl who works at the coffee shop and her boyfriend. Winter is slow to let go of the valley. And I don't want to start the movie again until it's warmer, so we've got 90 seconds to kill. Fortunately, our friends at the land use office, who deal only with facts, have offered to do some translation.
No solo pokanie pehomia.
Am I good enough to be signed? Of course I am.
This is Paul Epstein. Paul owns and runs Twist and Shout, Denver's largest independent record store.
Stick around when you're out of sight. Don't cry, it'll be alright. Just keep your eye on it, keep your eye on it. Don't look to the left or the right. I'll stick around when you're out of sight. Don't cry, don't you cry. Just keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on the light. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 Actually, that's not me.
Okay.
This is me, Victoria Woodworth. It's not Victoria Williams. That's wrong.
I have a 2-day gig in Denver recording my old friend Andy.
Woke up this morning! Which, by the way, is the #1 cliche of all songwriting.
Is that a good or bad thing to start with woke up this morning?
It's just a cliche. Unless you've got a good reason to go there.
Say it, it's bad.
It's bad.
Hey! 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 Hey!
I love recording Andy because I think he plays for all the right reasons. He's a hopeless natural.
But, well, if there's
My band and I got together just to stay in touch. When we rehearse like this, I can't wait to finish all the junk I'm doing so we can play more. Since Halden Wofford was so depressed during our last interview, I decided to try to catch him in a better mood.
There's my pimp cup.
Do you use it?
What do you mean?
Do you actually use that cup?
Why would you have a pimp cup if you never used it? Stop filming my Pimco. Interview's over. Okay.
What's next for Hal?
I'm purchased an arena football team.
The hell you are!
Maybe not till next year.
Denver already has an arena football team.
Shut up! This interview's over! You need some catsup?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you filming the wall?
So what is that?
You ask a lot of damn questions. That's it. This interview's over.
On the way out of town, I stopped by Macy's store.
Do you have any useless crap? Marcy Darcy?
We never talk specifics, but she says business is only getting slower, and it sounds like she's getting into a deep hole. That sounds nightmarish to me, and I feel awful for her.
Can you?
Follow me here. That's my last album, El Diablo. Last year, just before I finished it, I took it to my brother's in Nashville to get feedback on the mixes. But my brother had just bought this new computer game. It's called Half-Life 2, and I'd never seen anything like it. Staying up late watching my brother play this game was the coolest thing since Star Wars. And suddenly the year of work I'd put in on my new album seemed pretty empty. Obviously the graphics and detail are amazing, as are the music and the sound effects. But the story is what makes this game so incredible. So, Ken, what does the average singer-songwriter think of video games?
Video games are okay for what they are. Listen to this boring new song I wrote that sounds like all my others.
In case I didn't tell you, we have a 4-year college in Alamosa, Adams State, which is nice because it brings events that probably would only happen at a school. Today we're in search of the antithesis of the weekend rock band, which of course is the mariachi. Forgive my sweeping generalization here, but when it comes to dancing and stage presentation, white people suck. Your typical white musician could learn a lot from a good mariachi.
Darnos su apoyo a todos nosotros en el mariachi.
The first band's really young, and they seem to have some kind of requirement. With each band, the music gets a bit tighter and the presentation a bit more polished. And unlike most rock concerts by guys in t-shirts, the ending is actually worth the wait. Now that's rock and roll.
I guess if there's one thing that I've been good about sticking with for a routine, it's my bike rides to town. It's kind of my time to think too. Since I lost Monty, some friends told me to just get another dog right away. I don't even want another dog. I like it a lot better being alone. And I love these bike rides. It's a nice kind of solitary time.
Meet Senor Chipo. I just got him from a shelter in a tiny town called Ignacio. His picture online was ugly, so no one wanted him. Lucky for me.
Go that way, Chico.
Why is there so much prejudice against small dogs?
I mean, do you want me to fail?
Senor loves to run and jump and chase rabbits, and I love being able to take him anywhere. And no, he's not Murray. And about that metal siding, my idea for the rest of it is to go diagonally. My work is still messy, but so far I don't think it looks half bad. Since every week I'm further behind, it's nice to have these moments where something seems to get done on its own. And it doesn't help that when you live here, something happens every day that you want to film. And June 2nd was off the charts, even for the Valley. I grabbed my camera knowing full well I couldn't capture it, but that it would be crazy not to try. Every direction was a different painting. Mostly I remember feeling at a loss looking at all of it, and somehow further away from all the reasons I came here. Where's the blonde girl?
Jenna had to work.
Jenna is her name?
Yep.
So you guys are friends?
Uh-huh.
I was kind of hoping to talk to her. It's kind of hard finishing this movie. I'm just kind of depressed about it. I don't even think it's any good. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you think you know who you're supposed to be?
Aren't I the brainy friend?
Do what now?
The brainy friend. Jenna's the pretty love interest, and I'm her brainy friend who points out where you're misguided.
Huh. You're not exactly hard on the eyes yourself.
And Jenna's not stupid, but that's just the way they do it in the movies.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't do it that way if I were doing a movie.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
You're doing all of it. You did the rabbit, the gratuitous explosion.
Oh, this? Holy So the whole brainy girl versus the pretty girl thing, wouldn't that mean that that you and I end up together? I mean, in the whole brainy girl
Look, it's
versus...
not going to happen.
Okay. See, I mean, that's a story of my life, is even in my movie, the brainy pretty girl isn't interested and the pretty girl has a boyfriend.
Well, it might be your fantasy, but this is our lives.
Yeah. I know,
And actually, they broke up.
Who did?
Jenna and her boyfriend.
Don't mess with me.
Why did I just say that?
Do you know if Jenna thinks I'm ugly?
I don't know.
Can you do me a favor? Can you ask Jenna to write down her 3 favorite songs of all time and her 3 favorite songwriters of all time?
Yep.
You gonna write it down?
I'll tell her.
On a bike ride home the other day, I think I figured it out. Music's the really pretty girl who's never gonna like you back. Ever. And everyone else can see it. The other day when I was filming that sunset, I set the camera on a time lapse and then looked around at some of the junk on my land. It gave me an idea and I wanted to run it by Jerry during our weekly phone call.
Hey Jerry, how are you doing?
Hey Eric, great.
What we have here is my ticket to being a multi-millionaire found objects artist. What do you think?
That's great. I can't really tell what it's supposed to be.
What I did was collect several pieces that I found on my land, and on each one I placed certain coins that act as a partial control and a social validation.
It looks like a bunch of rusted out crap to me.
Jerry, don't you see the black tablecloth, the labels, the prices, the hideous colored shirt, and the fruity bolo, and the ponytail? Jerry, the ponytail!
I don't know. I kind of like that one on the end over there.
What? Oh, that's just a piece of scrap metal that someone left here. I don't know what that... You know, I've also got one right here that would go great in your place, Jerry.
Okay, how much is it?
It's $1,100.
Does it come with a tetanus shot?
Good one. Anyway, there's also one more piece I'd like you to see, Jerry. It's a wood sculpture that's out back.
I think Gandhi said it best when he said, "Those people who like their art draped in pretense and bent with a heavy frame of social commentary frankly annoy the living shit out of me." With work on the house, I don't even remember where much of May and June went. My slowness and the wind and the metal siding seem to take forever. And it's a real pain to do by yourself. This will be my last trip to Denver for several months. I'm mainly going to help Macy. It must be miserable to hold a going out of business sale. Especially when much of the inventory is your own work. We tried to do an interview, but Macy and I agreed it was too depressing.
Sorry, do I have to pay for it?
Yeah, you're sweet. I have a sale.
Oops, sorry, I didn't put the barkway.
I'm actually here to help her put on a benefit event. The first annual Doggy Prom. Senor and I are supposed to greet dogs on the red carpet and get video of the whole thing.
So we are all going to Red Lobster after this, correct? Oh!
Can you sit? No, you're just gonna walk right in.
Yeah, they got the bathroom.
Say hi, senor.
It has to be stressful to put together something like this. All that work and fretting to put on a party. It looked like a huge success to me, but since it's a benefit, it's not something that'll help Macy settle her store. I'm on my way to a festival where I'm drumming for someone. This is one of those gigs where you kind of get to be a rock star for a day. If the weather cooperates.
So I got a green tank top and then a pink cap sleeve scoop neck shirt.
That's Jamie Lundy. She's in charge of the whole thing. Jamie's also performing. That's me to the right on drums. We have time for one rehearsal and this is it. Five minutes before I turned the camera on, Jamie was about to give all of us our walking papers because she felt we were butchering her songs. It's supposed to rain all weekend, but what are you going to do?
We're living now in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
So how'd we do with our one rehearsal? You're listening to us. Here's the best part, and remember this is a public show on a Saturday afternoon.
What a great band! Great band! Great band!
That's funny for so many reasons.
Never thought twice.
That night, Jamie has all the performers take a turn at a bar in town. Jamie seems to get the warmest applause, but she played a Neil Young cover, so I don't want to show it. The drive home is the lowest I've felt since I moved away from Denver. I was dying to play last night, even though a room full of singer-songwriters is one of the darkest pits of human interaction. But I have to finish all I'm doing and get really good before I throw myself to the wolves. When I get down like this, I'm glad I have Jerry for our weekly phone call.
Jerry, how's it going?
It's going great.
You are in Cleveland, right? Because that's where you live.
This is Cleveland, that's right. Skyline's right over that mountain over there, yeah.
No, I believe you. What body of water is that behind us?
This is Lake Sanchez.
Lake what?
Sanchez.
Would you drink the water?
No, I don't think I would, no.
Why not?
It's just, I wouldn't drink it, no.
Do you think it's clean?
No, it's not looking that clean to me.
What would you call it?
Look, I know what you're trying to do. I'm not gonna say it.
I'm serious, I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, yeah, the water's dirty. Sanchez, dirty. Harry! Sanchez. Get that stuff. I am out of here.
Oh, come on! No, come on! Oh, Tina Turner, come back! No, baby, come back, please!
I thought you said this was supposed to be about music. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
Oh, look, I didn't mean to do that, but you brought that on yourself, baby. You brought that on yourself. This is Michael Lasko. Michael is president of a company called Taxi. You pay them to be a subscriber, then you send them your music, they give you a critique. The lesson you learn is to dumb it down and not do anything that's a little odd. That's the exact opposite of good songwriting. Oddfellows Local 151 by R.E.M., Dead by They Might Be Giants. I seriously doubt they would pass the test of any book on songwriting.
The hardest thing about recording an album when you're not on a label might actually be that you don't have a deadline or anyone holding your feet to the fire. The only way this house will get finished is if I set a date. So I decided to have a housewarming on September 9th. I also want it to be a video shoot for a new song I'm recording. I made invitations all by myself, and as soon as I put these in the mailbox, I'll work harder and everything's going to change. It has to. And it took 10 months, but I finally made a few friends here. That's Michelle, that's Mike, and that's Lisa. Yep, everything's gonna change any second. I'm gonna pick up this bucket. My new friends invited me out tonight. In the summer we have free concerts in the park. I think this is a great thing, and I'm glad we have it. But I wish I were up on stage.
I'll see you in a few minutes. Got some straps. We got CDs here if you're interested.
But it feels like I shouldn't even be here. My house is supposed to be a recording studio, and I'd planned to have it running months ago. My money's almost gone, and every day I get through about a fourth of my to-do list. August 9th, my alternator died. There's 3 days gone since I can't spend $800 for a mechanic. When I moved here, I was surprised how many of my friends thought it was a mistake and told me so. But the only person who really made me angry was my boss. I told her about a couple of glitches with the property, and she asked if I believe in signs. I asked her what she meant, and she said, well, if everything's telling you you're making a mistake, you should probably listen. What killed me is we're talking about a leaky well and escrow stuff. And the fact is, she just wanted me to keep working for her and not do what I'm dying to do. But okay, you want a sign? Do we have tornadoes down here?
I have never seen one in 53 years.
No way will you ever see a tornado in the San Luis Valley.
As far as I can tell, this was the first footage anyone ever got of a tornado in the San Luis Valley. There's the check stub for $100 that Denver's NBC station gave me to show it on the air. So there's a sign, if you believe in that sort of thing. Here's another. I decided to do my own electrical work, and the exact day I put up my breaker box, here's what I saw out back. That's a neighbor a mile away. Fortunately, it was only a work building and no one was hurt. By the way, for the last 6 months I've been seeing spots in my left eye that have been getting worse. I finally got it checked out and it's nothing. I've been scared sick about it for months but hadn't told anyone. On my way to the appointment, in the hospital lobby, I saw these paintings. People in a waiting room, where we'll all end up eventually. I tried to find the artist, but she doesn't check her email and doesn't even have a website. I don't believe in signs because I think that's the same thing as believing what you want to believe. About August 20th, I realized there's no way I'll have this place done before the housewarming. And call it whatever you want. But right now it feels like even when I do get this place finished, it's like I'll still be trying to change something that was decided long ago. I thought it would stop feeling like this when I got here. I bet most people think playing music or recording an album means lounging around, drinking beer, and then strapping on a guitar now and then.
Hey, sweetness.
I guess it can be, but if you're doing anything good, few things could be further from the truth. It's all work, pretty much like this stuff. And sometimes you spend half your week's allowance to rent a 300-pound auger that won't start because someone left it in the rain. You're alone most of the time, and unless you're well known, you get the feeling most of your friends think you're a joke. And almost every other musician you know is praying for you to fail or disappear. I used to play drums for these guys. Then one night I got a call that my dad needed emergency open heart surgery, and my family live in Nashville, 1,200 miles away. I called our manager and he wanted to know if I'd be back in time for a big money gig next week. He hung up without saying a word to the effect of, "I hope your dad's okay." And I'm about to drive all night not knowing whether my dad's going to be alive when I get there. I quit the band not long after I got back. The funny thing is, I was leaving to be with my family. As of right now, I haven't talked with them for almost 2 years. I miss them terribly, but I think it's awful to pick on someone for wanting to do something different. If your kid wants to be a writer or singer, they don't need a lecture about how hard it is. The rest of the world will take care of that real quick. You'll learn you can't count on having a steady paycheck ever again. No fancy dinners out, no movies for $9, and forget going to concerts unless they're free. You get used to most of it. But wow, I do miss going to the movies.
I won't survive.
It's actually natural that most musicians get so insecure and frustrated. If you write songs, you have a few friends who love them, but you can't seem to get anyone else on the planet to take you seriously. So what do? Well, eventually you break down and pay people who are supposed to be experts for advice. But one tells you gotta think outside the box. Another tells you gotta stay right in the middle of the box and keep doing what you're doing. And still another tells you gotta cover every inch of the box with advertisements that they'll gladly sell you. But none of them really believe in you. You're not that stupid. So what do?
You just build your own box.
Go ahead and laugh. I've already heard it all about my house. I think when it's done, it's going to be great.
Well, I kind of hate that I had to put the house on hold and that it's nowhere near finished. But I think we're ready to make a video. But before that, there's something else I got to do. For the chosen few, duty calls.
I think you're on the right track when the only material things you want aren't expensive, but are hard to find. And I never thought it was such a bad little wood sculpture. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little direction and a short length of elastic rubber tubing. You know, if you want to make someone mad, tell them they're no good, then walk away. If If you want to give someone a brief jolt of confidence, tell them they can do whatever they put their mind to, then walk away. But if you want to motivate someone and see what they're made of, get yourself some nachos, soft drinks, and a lawn chair. Tell someone they don't have what it takes and they'll never get anywhere. Then have a seat. It might be a little weird, but I bet you'll see something. If you're a musician, you think I'm crazy for slinging industry people into a crap hole 3 feet deep. And you're right, but I had to dig by hand, and 3 feet was as deep as I could go. In case you're wondering, I launched everything until I got him into the hole. Except for our record store owner, Paul Epstein. No matter how I taped him up, I couldn't get him to fly. And I have to admit, because of his stubbornness, I have a newfound respect for him and decided to let him off the hook. Just kidding, that would be stupid. This is how it looks to shoot a video, at least in my limited experience. You've got one sunset to work with and 100 things to do. I wanted to make a video with the crowd enjoying themselves but ignoring the band. 47 people RSVP'd and were supposed to be here, but a week before I started to get a bunch of cancellations, including 2 camera people. It's hard to make a video with your band in it when you're the only one shooting. On top of that, the local paper did a story about my house. Ken, the building inspector, saw it and said my deck isn't to code and the whole place needs an inspection. No joke. So I canceled the party except for my band and a few friends and decided to just shoot whatever looked good. I was upset about the camera people flaking. That screwed up a lot. Fortunately, one guy showed up with a camera and took footage that was way better than mine. A lot of this is his. The other thing I wanted in the video was a slow dancing couple who get up and dance right in front of the band, like the 2 people who aren't afraid. I talked the blonde girl from the coffee shop and her boyfriend into that. Jenna and Steven. They were great. They did everything the same on each take and acted like the camera wasn't even there. I never finished the video. It needed more footage and we only had that night. But when I reviewed everything, 2 things stood out. First, my voice was horrible. No wonder I cleared out that coffee shop back in March. The second thing that struck me was the band and all the fun songs they were playing. I was so busy shooting I didn't even hear them. But they were so good, and after seeing the footage I was dying to do the whole night over and just play with them. About my voice, after seeing the footage I started working on it like I should have all along. What you're seeing and hearing is the first and only take I did for this song. It's a bit ugly, but I can live with it. Jenna was so good on camera that I got her to do a couple other scenes. And yes, she and her boyfriend really did break up. I got to know her fairly well and just thought of her as really nice and really pretty. until I was editing footage and watched this scene. I'm showing Jenna what to say, then as soon as I put my hand to my forehead, we're acting. Okay, now watch her right after we finish our lines and she starts to laugh. I think the moment I saw that was when I started to like her. And pretty soon it was a crush like I haven't had since college. Eventually I couldn't concentrate on finishing this stupid movie, so I met her at the coffee shop and told her, "You know what she looks like and what I look like. I don't need to tell you how it went." Then something weird happened. We started hanging out together. It was like being in college again.
So it's okay for me to tell someone that,
Then right when it seemed something was starting to happen, she left for Virginia to visit her ex-boyfriend. When she got back, she said she was still in love with him and that was that. And if I thought she'd been starting to like me, I just hadn't been seeing straight. It felt like having a bowling ball shot through my stomach. When you play music, you live for a few moments each year where it seems the light at the end of the tunnel is real. But this was like for a little while, just a few days, I got to be a kid again. But the whole thing was in my head. Right now I feel rotten and worthless all the way through. And like everything I've been doing for the last 18 months is pointless. What's the use if the only times you feel really good, your head's playing a trick on you? What in the world do I have to complain about? But why can't things ever just be okay? Best of all, there's one last segment I need to film with Jenna.
Something.
that's good.
We ended up having a mostly unscripted conversation. By the end of this, I was so nervous and embarrassed, it felt like I was going to puke.
I meant to ask that.
So what are you going to do with this movie when it's done?
I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Whatever happened to Point of Failure?
The album I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You remember that?
You asked me to write it down. I have it written down.
I mean, I thought I was going to be done with it by now, too.
You have made fun of everybody in the music industry, like critics and DJs and all these people that you think might maybe be of service to you when you decide to go back to this musician thing. So are you saying that they're all worthless?
No, not at all. Just most of them. Just like your average singer-songwriter. I mean, most singer-songwriters are terrible, too.
Right.
So they're all going, yeah, he's right. Almost all of them are stupid, but he's not talking about me.
Okay.
You think I'm ugly? Seriously?
No.
You have to answer totally seriously.
No, I don't.
You see yourself and you see me.
Yes.
You have to admit, you're not going to do any better. What do you think is more likely? You'll get back together with your boyfriend, or that I'll get some kind of label support, or that I would be your boyfriend? What's most likely of those actually happening?
That you will get some sort of label support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to finish the movie now. It's weird.
You have to.
I know, but the whole time I've been working on it, it was hard, but I actually kind of believed in it. And now, since I had this like thing with you come up, it's like nothing is fun. Nothing. Not working on the movie, not playing music, or even singing or anything. So thanks for ruining my life, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah. So.
Do what I can.
You think it's more likely that an asteroid will hit us, or that you'll go out with me?
Okay, it only gets more painful from here, so I'll skip to the end.
That's cool. Okay. That's all. I think that's all I need.
Hey, but wait. What about my list of songs?
Oh, I don't even care.
fine.
Oh, your list of favorite stuff.
Yeah.
The songs were your 3 favorite songs. None of them start with I, do they?
Yes, one of them does.
You knew that.
No.
Someone told you.
No.
The lyrics start with I.
No, the song title starts with I.
The lyrics don't start with I, do
No.
they? And your 3 favorite songwriters.
Uh-huh.
None of them are ever going to win a beauty pageant, are they?
One of them has, actually.
So how does it end?
Do you know how it ends?
No?
Can you tell me how it ends?
No?
Do you want a happy ending or a sad ending?
Don't.
We can do that.
Is it me, or is everyone addicted to bigger things? And to always doing additions to their house. And we always want to know how famous someone is when we see their painting or hear their song.
What, didn't you think this is a real flower out here dying?
Small as it is, I love my house. I love watching thunderstorms from the second floor. You should try it sometime. Acres in a place like this. What more could you want? Still, I don't think anyone ever finished a song or poem without needing someone else to like it. I thought I was going somewhere with that, but never mind. Am I missing something here?
Take your left hand, go like this. Take it back.
I lost my horn with glasses
What the hell kind of ending was that? Hell yes, I'm missing something here. I miss being able to sleep and eat and just strum a guitar without being upset about some 25-year-old girl who's never going to like me back. But I had to give the movie some kind of ending. And when it was done, things got even weirder. Jenna started asking me to do stuff again. I tried to stay away and failed miserably.
I'm sorry about the camera. You're trying to kill me, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah, you are, aren't you?
No.
Okay, hypothetically, what if I asked you on a date? What would you say?
I would go on a date with you.
Huh. Can you take the camera for a second?
Yeah.
For Jenna's parents. Evidently your daughter has been taken over by aliens of some kind. But I know the procedure for the exorcism.
Station lights from here all look phony like a pinhole camera. Measure right from here on is actual miles and radar red. Station lights from here on work. The speaker cracks into soft voice and says it's funny I was never scared of the view straight up till funny you were never here when all the love lights red. Honey, I walked it all, step by it all 6 years before this call turned off the clouds. Honey, it's time. Funny you called it on first come, let out 6 years before it's done. Dry out the clouds, honey, that's fine.
Because I can't hit it. Alright, I'm just going to start here this time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Eric, make that go lower. You want your worthless teeth?
You ready to move out?
I guess.
Yeah. What's going to happen when you move to Boulder? Are we still going to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah.
Huh? Really?
I think so.
You painted the sky and asked would you like to walk with me where it falls. God said thunder and the desert made trees. Lightning came, you said get on your knees. He shook from the cold and whispered it low. You don't know me at all. Kissed me goodnight. For once I was right. God let painted sky Whatever you say, make it okay. You don't know me at all. If you think I'm lonely, guess you showed me, but you